Yo, what is going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in the fourth and final round for the week for my locals this past Saturday. Want to give you guys a bit of a heads up. There will not be any locals feature matches this coming week. I have locals tonight on Tuesday as I'm recording this, the 12th. But I don't know if I'll be recording depending on how much attendance there is. Our Tuesday locals typically, sometimes, well, more recently I guess I've only been having enough people for 3 rounds, and I don't know if I am gonna be able to record, if we don't have enough people, to get a good sized tournament going. And then Saturday obviously is nationals, and a large majority of people from our locals are gonna be going to that. I will not be in attendance this year because of reasons, yeah. So there might not be any locals featured matches this week, but I will try to make it up with some other type of content, maybe some, rogue to high rated stuff. So keep an eye out for that. But hopping into the match here, we're going to see my man Johnny on the left piling his Marincess Shark deck versus my man Partha on the right piling his DDD strategy. And I still think that the Shark version is the best version of Marincess to play, in my personal opinion. I think both builds with or without Sharks are definitely competitively viable. I don't think I've ever said that they weren't, but in my personal opinion, my past experiences with the deck, I think the Shark version is the best, just because it's the interactions Abyss Shark has, allowing basically one card to be 2 free bodies, and also helps you beat Nibiru, which I think is the deck's biggest problem. A lot of the other hand traps in the game right now, deck doesn't really care about. Nibiru is one of those cards that the deck definitely cares about, and if you can put an engine in the deck that synergizes well with, outside of just making rank 4s like Link Climbing, that can also help you beat Nibiru, and also help you make good cards that help you put up spot removal, which the deck lacks, or help you go into boards like Stealth Craig, and I think it's definitely just a win-win. We're going to see my man Johnny getting a little bit unfortunate here with his mills off the blue tank, finding another dive, getting a dive off the Sea Angel, and I think he had 3 dive in hand or something like that, which is a little rough. I've since moved down to 2 dive. I think 2 dive is fine, especially with 1 Monster Reborn in the main. I think Monster Reborn is very, very clutch in this deck. Yeah, really, really powerful 1-of in the deck, especially for, again, beating Nibiru. But we're going to see him dive out of Spring Girl. I think he milled 1 there off of that, so he will burn for 200. And then we're going to see him go into the unaffected route here, going for an early Crystal Heart, and then summoning a Seahorse to the zone that it points to, then going for Anemone reviving the Crystal Heart, and then going for a Link 3 here rather than a Link 4 for the unaffected triangle to secure the Wave Search. Kind of a cool little line there. The only, I guess, downside of going for a line like this, potentially, is that now you're going to go into a Link 4 that is not, unaffected. And then we're going to see that Silent Angler come down, where we again, a lot of people, I feel like, that just outright don't know how the Shark engine works. They always assume that you're going to be, under Angler's restriction, right at the beginning of your combo. And sometimes it doesn't always end up being like that. A lot of times that you are doing that, you're doing the Abyss Shark plus level 4 combo, which again is just beating Nibiru outright and giving you your full combo regardless, without being able to summon from the hand, which is why it's so good. But in the other cases, you're going to see Silent Angler just be useful as a free water extender at the end of your turn, when you might have used most of your names, or used some of your good extenders, right? It just comes in clutch as an extra extender to get into something like Bubble Reef, which at this point is not unaffected, which is a little unfortunate. And this is one of the reasons why I've personally gotten behind the idea of cutting Crystal Heart, because it seems like a lot of the combos where you try to get into the unaffected Link 4 and get your Wave Search and all of these things, it seems like they just take a lot of cards, and especially if you're trying to do those lines to try to beat, again, my opinion, the deck's biggest problem, Nibiru, or even just things like Droplet, right, or Dark Ruler. It just takes a lot of cards and a lot of setup. You need to see the field spell as well to get that unaffected bonus. But we're going to see DDD here try to go into the board. We're going to see him fusion immediately for the High Flame King Genghis. That's going to check the wave that is known. And then we're going to see the Slime bring out Ragnarok, try to bring out the other Ragnarok, normal summon Necro Slime, tribute to attempt to banish, and we're going to see Wave on the Ragnarok, High Flame King Genghis attempt to negate, and then there's a clutch effect Veiler there to go ahead and counter the High Flame King Genghis. Now obviously Wave going to resolve here, protecting the Great Bubble Reef, making it unaffected by the opponent's card effects since it did successfully resolve. And then also Bubble Reef gaining an additional 12 now from the Banish of Blue Tank and the Banish of Swirl Slime, putting up by a total of 3,200 attack from its normal 26. So it is at 50, 900? Or no. It's gaining 2,000 from the field spell total plus an additional 12. So it's gaining 32, and that would put it at 58 math. Yeah, tough. So speaking of math, we're going to see DDD take 1,000 damage, taking him from 78 to 68, because he did take 200 damage from a Spring Girl Mill earlier in his opponent's turn. And then we're going to see him go ahead and scale up a copy of Cerberus and a copy of Orthros. Then we're going to see him Pendulum summon out Orthros. And Cerberus is going to go ahead and make Ragnarok at level 4, going for a water rank 4, feeling a little bold and brash here. This is, I guess, another example where Eerie the Water Charmer kind of comes up too, is like even against this matchup, where you can take not only Wave Caesar, but High Wave Caesar as well. Kind of cool. You know, it just lets you go into a body and get like a free card from your opponent, so it's like one less extender that you have to use, which is kind of nice. So we're going to see him go into Tell. Tell's going to burn for 1,000. And then we see him link off the Tell in the Gilgamesh into a second Gilgamesh. We're going to see him dump a copy of DD Griffin to the graveyard, I believe off of Marksman Tell. And now that Necro Slime is still in graveyard here. So we're going to see him go ahead and banish 2. That's going to allow Bubble Reef here to activate its mandatory effect. We'll gain 1,200 there, since it says it gains 600 attack for each monster or monsters banished face up. He's going to go for the regular Genghis and then go into the Machinex. That will trigger the Gilgamesh to go ahead and revive one. No matching level 6 engrave here, so can't go for a High Wave Caesar play anyways. Not that I feel like it would be too effective anyways here this late, you know, in the turn, and even just going second in general. So we're going to see him revive the Griffin. Griffin's going to go ahead and search the DDD Headhunt, or the DD Headhunt. I don't know if it's DD or DDD. But Headhunt kind of crazy against Marincess. I've you know, known from personal experience. Sometimes they just Headhunt your first normal summon, and it's just like, ouch. Yeah, like a lot of times, like it's not the best play, but sometimes it is the best play. Like if you start Pascalus and have a name and have a way to like dodge it, like something like Signet Crosswipe, very, very cool interaction there. You can still play through it. Yeah, Headhunt sometimes immediately is kind of rough. But we're going to see him just pass on that Headhunt, Machinex, and follow up for sure here. And then we're going to see him pass over my friend Johnny, aka Barnacle Boy. Going to go ahead and draw for turn, and then banish in the standby phase. The Silent Line going to go ahead and draw again. And we're not seeing Headhunt activate in response here. Just going to go ahead and let it walk. And has quite a bit in the graveyard. The only name I believe that's not engraved right now is Pascalus, which is, as we know, at least us Marincess players, is very good for that resource recursion of your important spells like Dive, Battle Ocean, and obviously Wave. Being able to add back. We're going to see him activate, though, Marincess Seahorse in the graveyard to go ahead and special summon Spring Girl. So that way you can get Spring Girl on field later in the turn, perhaps, via its own effect. Like, I haven't resolved a Seahorse graveyard effect in what feels like so long, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. It just, like, a lot of times just doesn't seem like it comes up. Like, sometimes it just feels redundant. I don't know if that makes any sense, but, like, it just does. But we have this Bubble Reef here, which can very much be affected since, you know, Battle Ocean isn't up. Wave has not been resolved this turn, but we're going to go ahead and see him just go ahead and link off the Spring Girl and the Bubble Reef into a copy of Coral Anemone. And then we're going to see a lot of effects here. We're going to see Anemone activate, and we're also going to see Spring Girl activate if he chooses to use the graveyard effect of Spring Girl. Now he can go ahead and add things back here like Dive. We can go ahead and add something back like Wave. We're going to go ahead and see him add back the Blue Tang. And, you know, I've been back and forth the past couple weeks on playing like 1 Sea Angel, 2 Sea Angel, and it's just like, sometimes having the second Sea Angel just feels so free just because you could easily go into it at any point. But, like, you also have to remember, if you're managing your resources properly, you're going into a game knowing you only have 1 Sea Angel to work with. I feel like I've played with 1 Sea Angel enough for the point where I feel like you definitely don't need one. Like, it's definitely, like, I won't move on that stance. I don't think like 2 Sea Angel is absolutely mandatory. I think like 1 can be perfectly fine, especially with your Anemone recycles. Marbled Rock's always going to come up turn 3, especially if, you know, ideally you're going to search Wave. So you have Anemone, add back, you have Marbled Rock, add back, you can set it up, Paskless, add back, right? So many ways to recur all these cards. So we're going to see him normal summon the Blue Tang after Anemone revives the Spring Girl from the grave. And then we're going to see him link the... or Blue Tang send the Paskless, link the Spring Girl into Blue Slug, add back the Spring Girl here. And like, this is his like 3rd time summoning Spring Girl without actually using its effects. So like, what I was talking about in the profile, you can just like juggle a lot of these cards around, you know, before you even actually use their own effects to get them on the board. And, you know, playing it the way he did there, he'll get to mill 3 off the Spring Girl, which is kind of cool. More ways to mill names. And just trying to force out that headhunt here. So going for the Bahamut Shark, definitely going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to see him go ahead and link 3, the Anemone and the Blue Slug into Marbled Rock. And we can go ahead and see him add 2 cards back here if he chooses to do so. Which I think he actually already used Anemone's Graveyard effect. So won't be able to get a double add back, but we'll get 1 add back regardless. This is where, like, this will probably sound weird, but like, this is where I've thought about playing something like Salvage in the deck. Salvage seems very, very cool. Because like, you can pretty much add back like a lot of things off of Salvage. Because I think it's up to 2 waters in your grave with 15 or less attack, which is like a decent chunk. Like, that's every main decked Marincess monster. And then Coral Triangle, Blue Slug, and Sea Angel all can be recycled off that, which is kind of cool. But we're going to go ahead and see him link for Marbled Rock, add back Battle Ocean, and then we're going to see him activate the Sleepy Maiden Engraved to go ahead and equip to the Marbled Rock here. Now, I want to say maybe there was a better line that could have been taken here. But you really do have to try to force out that headhunt. And I think holding it that long was definitely correct. So that definitely made things a little bit more difficult. But we're going to see him go ahead and just pass turn there. He does have Nibiru in hand. And he does have Dive in hand still, I think. Can't necessarily tell what it is from the quick glances that I've seen. But we're going to see Gilgamesh get summoned here. And linking off with the Bahamut Shark. And obviously Gilgamesh effect will go ahead and scale 2. We're going to see him scale the Rage. And does have Thomas in the extra deck as well here, which is kind of interesting. We're going to go ahead and scale the Kepler. Put him down by 1,000. Putting him down to 58. And Marbled Rock is currently at a gain of 800, so it is at 33. And then we're going to see him Pendulum summon out the Ragnarok. Ragnarok is going to go ahead and revive the High Flame King Genghis here. Now, it'll be interesting to see how he gets over the 3,300 Marbled Rock, while also trying to not play into Nibiru. And the Sleepy Maiden equipping the Marbled Rock with the Anemone is definitely clutch here to go ahead and help recycle next turn. Obviously, because he is, you know, planning to go ahead and Nibiru himself this turn as well, so you might as well equip the Anemone so you can secure the add back here. And then it looks like we're going to go ahead and see him drop the rock right here. Once he gets the Cerberus and the Orthros on field, it's going to be 1 big token. And, yeah, pretty huge token. So we're going to see him summon his Nibiru in attack. And then probably the token in defense. And see what he's going to go ahead and recycle here off of the Anemone. We know Paskless is in grave. So you definitely don't really need to recycle the dive. He has cross out in hand as well. So we're going to see him DDD pass turn here. And now clearing the Nibiru token should be pretty easy. Especially, also another cool thing with Stealth Kraken too is popping Nibiru tokens just makes it so easy to go for game. because Stealth Kragan, like, even if it pops a Nibiru token, like, their opponent will still take damage, because it takes, they take damage equal to half the attack the monster had on the field. It's not original attack, it's just the attack that it had on the field, which is really nice. I think yesterday when I was testing, I popped a Nib token that had 10,400 attack and burned for 5,200, and then just swung them with Iria and a Kragan for a game. Really, really nice to be able to do that. So we're going to see him activate Spring Girl. Spring Girl is going to go ahead and banish the Seahorse. So we can't use Seahorse's graveyard effect here. I'm also just realizing they didn't put a Nibiru token on their field. There definitely should be one there. But I also think at this point, I don't think my friend on the left here knows that the Kragan will burn even if it is popping as something like a token. So it's really just as simple as, I think, going just to pop it with a Kragan without even doing all these extra steps. But, you know, also just securing game here is also fine as well. You know, you get an add back, summoning out the Seahorse here, going into Iria. And Iria can also take something out of grave right now too, so go ahead and take the Caesar, pop the token, and that will burn there for half the damage. And this is definitely more than game anyways. And I think this would just be game even without the burn damage. So again, I think he did this play because he didn't know that he would take damage equal to half the attack, even if he is popping something like a token. But yeah, that is going to be game. Very grindy game one there, and we are on to a game two. And of course, a quick reminder, guys, don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist at the link below. And don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, feel free to use my affiliate link to TCG Player found in the description of all my videos. If you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel and helps out a ton. So we're going to see DDD lead here in game two, going for a very early Baron. And then with the help of Lamia and Necro Slime, we are going to see him get into the much-needed Gilgamesh that is protected. We're going to see him fire the Veiler. Obviously, the Baron will negate, and he's going to go ahead and scale up a Griffin and a Thomas at the cost of 1,000 life points. And then we're going to go ahead and see the Cerberus pop the... Cerberus will pop the Griffin, and then Thomas will add back the Griffin, and then summon the Griffin to the field, and then go for a rank 4 play for the Wave, and then to the Marksman Tell, detaching to burn, and then linking off the Tell, and the Gilgamesh into another Gilgamesh, allowing him to Foolish the Necro Slime, and then Necro Slime effect, go ahead and banish itself, and the Gilgamesh go for a Genghis, and then go for the Deus Machinax. And then it'll trigger Gilgamesh, go and revive another piece from the grave, going for that other Gilgamesh. And then going for the rank 6 High Wave Caesar. So now it has the ability to basically stop 2 effects that would include an effect that would special summon a monster. And there is the Nibiru for the 6th card. We're going to see Standby Phase. Baron tags out 4 Griffin to go ahead and search for a follow-up, since the Baron really isn't doing anything on field right now. And I think I see an evenly matched in hand here. And that's just going to go ahead and be met with the Lancey. Otherwise, that was definitely going to go in like a lot. Of course, he still definitely keeps the High Wave Caesar. But not really going to matter too much here. So we're going to go ahead and see him attempt Abyss Shark. That will be stopped by the Caesar, forcing out an interruption there. Otherwise, that will allow him to gain a lot of advantage. And then we're going to see him summon out Silent Angler. And of course, Angler does not activate to summon, so that will actually dodge the Caesar. And then going to go for Stealth Kragan here to attempt to out it and then burn for, I think, extra attack if he were to pop that, but he would get a search off it. So we're just going to see him pop the Machinax, burn 15, and just go ahead and pass turn there. Really unfortunate that he saw Nibiru as the 6th card. He did have Veiler He would have had the Nibiru Valor combo, which would have ended my man Partho's career. But it is what it is. And also had the Lancia too. It's kind of nice. Not really a popular side deck card you see right now. So I could definitely see being thrown off by that a little bit. We're gonna see DD normal summon here with the Kepler, and then Kepler effect go ahead and add Gate, and then Gate effect go Search, and then we're gonna go ahead and see him link 2 into the third Gilgamesh here, I believe, paying down another 1,000, and now going for the Pendulum of the Ragnarok that will trigger its effect. Go ahead and summon out Tell, and then we're just gonna see him admit defeat there. I was gonna say, is there not a reason why you don't just like Kragan pop the Caesar and then Nibiru? Unless that was like under 5 summons there, then I guess, yeah, that's just nothing really you can do. I don't know. Either way, we're gonna see him go to game 3. It's coming close down to time right now, so keep that in mind as well. I think 40 minutes, 45 minutes or 40 minutes, sped up by 150%. I think is like roughly equates to like 25 minutes. So we're gonna see that 1 card Seahorse line, very, very standard line that most Marincess players are used to. And we're gonna see him go for Crystal Heart, equipping 2, and then we're gonna see him activate Abyss Shark here. And then Abyss Shark is gonna go ahead and summon itself and search a copy of Silent Angler alongside of it. And then we're going to see him use the Abyss Shark here to link climb into an unaffected Anemone, and just saving time there using the same equips, and then go ahead into a link 3 of Triangle, and then Battle Ocean 1, Anemone 2, adding back the Seahorse, and Coral Triangle effect. Go ahead and search here. This is unaffected Triangle, so the wave search will go through here. And I think there were points where we talked about even sometimes with like certain hands leaving the Triangle on board unaffected, especially if you have enough hand traps already. Like, you know, the extra interruption from Triangle, or from what's it called, Argonaut's not necessarily needed. And same thing with like the Bubble Reef draws, they might be a bit redundant again if you already have tons of hand traps and follow-up. But we're gonna see DDD lead here with a Godarla, which is extremely rough. This is where, like, you know, the Gozen match and rivalry enthusiasts in the chat will be like, this is why you play those cards, because you don't get Kaiju'd. Which is totally understandable. But it is unfortunate I did see the Kaiju there. But we're going to see DDD lead here into, you know, a lot of things really fast, because again, it is close to time. And we're going to see Nibiru get dropped right before he has the opportunity to go for the Wave Caesar, because that will turn off Nibiru completely. So you have the Nibiru there, and hope they really don't have many extenders past that. But he does have at least the Necro Slime here, which he will go ahead and use. And we'll see. We're just going to go ahead and summon. He's just going to summon out a Gilgamesh, and then Lamia, pitch the Contract with Errors, or not Contract with Errors, Contract with Patents. And then, I'm not sure if Patents has an effect when it goes to Grave. I haven't read that card in a very long time. All I know is like it's like a walking, or well, not a walking, well, I guess kind of like a continuous D barrier. Depending on what the opponent summons and what you have on field. I remember a while back in a tournament I was in where I was playing Marincess, I had to play into that field spell, and my opponent had a Gilgamesh on field, and I summoned a Blue Slug, and I lost. Because, like, it's very weird, because you're playing a deck that doesn't get hurt by, like, D barrier-like effects, because D barrier doesn't cover links, but this card covers links. Very, very strong card. So we're going to see him go ahead and link into the Gilgamesh here, pay 1,000. Go ahead and scale up the Ragnarok and the Kepler. Going to go ahead and Pendulum summon out Dog, and then he'll take 1,000 again to bring back the Gilgamesh, and then go for Deus Machinex, go for Wave Caesar, battle phase, crash the Machinex, swinging for 28 and pass turn. The token stats right now, the attack stats, I believe, are 67. So keep that in mind. Because something important does come up here. We're going to see my man Johnny normal summon the Seahorse, link it into the Blue Slug, and it looks like Chainlink 1, Battle Ocean, Chainlink 2, Seahorse, You could have led with Coral Triangle there, but that's just going to get negated by the Caesar, so there's no real reason to do that. We're seeing recycle. One Sea Angel there with the Anemone. Or with the Blue Slug, rather. Then we're going to see him summon out the Sea Angel. That's going to go ahead and grab Wave, or not Wave, Dive. And then we're going to see him go for a Link 2 of Anemone. And then Field Spell to go ahead and equip. This is going to put this Anemone up to 4,000. So we can go ahead and get a decent amount of damage here over top the Caesar. So 12. He will get a Search of Contract, but that's fine. Especially if you can just deal a little bit more damage here. And then you can just basically take this one in time. We're going to see him activate Dive to go ahead and summon from deck. It's going to summon out Spring Girl. And he still hasn't used Anemone's grave, or, summon from grave effect. So we're going to see him bring back the Crystal Heart. And then go for a Link 4. It looks like. This will be unaffected, so going for Bubble Reef. And then Anemone effect, since it does hit the grave, to go ahead and add back. At least the one that he linked with. And we'll see what he's going to go ahead and grab back. Going to go grab the Spring Girl. The Silent Angler is still in hand from that previous turn. Never ended up summoning the Angler off the Abyss Shark. Didn't really need to. We're going to see him go ahead and go for Kragan. Kragan will pop the token. He'll take half of 67. Putting him down to 2450. Standby phase, banish Abyss Shark to draw. Wave in hand. Kragan on board. And then we're going to see DDD take another 1,000 in the standby phase, putting him down to 1450. Go ahead and search Rage. And then Fusion Summon. Again, time is ticking down here. Very, very close to time right now. Fusion Summoning for High Flame King Genghis, activating Swamp King. And this is an unaffected Bubble Reef as well. So it doesn't really need Wave here to protect. We're going to see him go for D-Arc. And then Chainlink 1 Ragnarok, Chainlink 2 High Flame King Genghis. We're going to see my man Johnny make a huge mistake here, not popping the D-Arc, because now D-Arc is going to allow his opponent to gain the damage he would have taken from the Kragan. But it's alright, he's still at 4850. And now we're going to see Wave on Rage. Because you have to Wave Rage there, otherwise, its on-field effect is very, very strong. I don't know if you guys have read that card, you should. It's pretty insane when it's on field. We'll go ahead and get to Search a Contract here off of the Caesar. And I think our Marincess player didn't realize that, he made a little bit of a mistake there. He totally messed up. Should have popped the D-Arc because he forgot about the gain life point effect. So he actually ends up losing here in time because they forgot to calculate the damage from the token being popped there because they didn't realize at the time. So technically Marincess should have won this match, but neither player caught it. Life points were not kept track of correctly. So DDD does technically win here, but Marincess should have won. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members, who are Tweeter0226, Cadillacs84, Pony Stark, Justin Lamb, and HDH Cyber. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and generous support of the channel.